Good afternoon, blockchain experts and enthusiasts. My name is Alena Zaleska. I am director at WeTel Blockchain Center. And it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our Friday Blockchain Coffee Talk Show. Last week, we had an extremely informative discussion on blockchain adaptation and licensing. Scams in crypto domain, we talked about real estate sector and regulations for buying property in crypto. Today, we continue the conversation on how blockchain technology will change the way we work and change the way we live. And it's my pleasure to introduce our today's experts, Farhan Magdit, CEO of Fluxys Technologies, Aslam Soltangos, CEO Gold Hive Trading, Rajib Roy, CEO Roex Technologies, and Zara Gorea, CMO Star Metaverse. Good afternoon. Thank you for taking your time and joining us today. Can you tell a few words about yourself and your area of expertise?
So my name is Farhan Magdit. I'm a software engineer by profession. I have been working in the software development for more than 32 years. Starting from 2016, I started to research and reshift my whole area of the development to the blockchain. So October 2017, I have live engaged in the blockchain development until the moment.
Perfect.
So that's a brief.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Mohamed Aslam Sultangos. I'm the CEO of Gold Hive Trading LLC, which is basically a precious metals and precious stones trading company, which is something very primary as opposed to what we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely.
But I mean, we found a way through the learning process to get into the Web3 space, and it would be happy to discuss around my fellow panelists.
Absolutely.
Hello everyone, I'm Rajib Roy. I'm running a software company. It's called the Roex Technologies from 2013. We have several offices, Dubai head office and Qatar, and India and Bangladesh we have the development office. So we are mainly actually the mobile application and the e-commerce side as development. From 2018 we start actually the small bit actually blockchain, and from last year we start working on the metaverse and deeply actually. We're working for the different government agencies to develop their own metaverse, and also our own metaverse Mat City is coming soon from the next month.
That's great. Thank you.
So hi, I'm Zara Gorea. I'm actually the CMO for Star Metaverse. It's a metaverse for cinema, sports and entertainment. We're based in Dubai. So besides that, I'm also the board member for FinTech and Blockchain Association based in MIT. And apart from that, I advocate for blockchain and crypto in Africa. So I'm the director for global growth in United Africa Blockchain Association. So my expertise is basically blockchain strategizing, and currently have moved to NFT and Metaverse.
That's great. Thank you so much for your introduction. Are we ready to begin? So we hear frequently that blockchain is the future and the application is universal. However, some corporations and governments are racing forwards, while others are still struggle to understand its relevance to them. So what do you see can bridge the gap between the blockchain technology and the corporate world of future? Please, you can go ahead.
So basically, when we mention about the blockchain, there are different principles behind. So we speak about the technology itself, which is, I always mention, is a very complicated architecture in place and a lot of algorithms running in this complicated architecture.
Can we simplify it in the word?
So the principles, as I mentioned, is a technology. And we mentioned about one of these applications, which is a crypto. Majority people get to know about the blockchain from the crypto perspective.
Correct.
And also we have something related to the legality. So how the legal can cover the technology and the usage of this cryptocurrency. And there is an integration point of view. So how the business reshifting using the technology. So these are the areas we have to explore and understand. So whenever we mention about them, that's where the concern starts from the industries. So when there will be a business integration to the technology, what will be the concern and how the reshifting happens and where the technology will fit in this business area. And today we majority heard about NFT and Metaverse. These are actually the interesting like topics which has been built, especially after the pandemic.
Absolutely.
We know that people were sitting at home, they wanted to get engaged with something really live and they earn behind. So that's where the 2021 was the height for using or exploring the NFT
and the Metaverse.
Metaverse as well by the end of 2021. So this is what it comes to my mind. And when it comes to the government, the legalities, that's also like a point and a principle we always put in mind, and we put a point on that. We as a developer, we work behind the technology and we want to make sure things going according to the legal frameworks.
Absolutely.
Depends on any jurisdictions. And on the other hand, the jurisdiction is also looking at the space of the blockchain and the cryptocurrency. They want to know and explore how they can regulate. And when the regulation comes in the place, they have to understand, as I mentioned, they have to classify and they want to know where the regulation will exactly goes to the usage of the cryptocurrency or the security token, or the technology itself, or the business integration, or now what we are mentioning about the metaverse, which is a virtual economy to me. Because virtual economy, it's not like a new virtual reality.
Yes.
It has been there for decades.
For the game.
And majority of the youngest, they are into this space.
Yes, and we will talk about more,
Yeah.
particularly
So
about the
this is also
Metaverse.
from the legal point of view as well, that now majority of the governments, they are trying to put hands on these virtual reality, what is going on, because now become a grown economic space, which is a virtual economic space.
Thank you so much for thank you, Farhan. Aslam, would you like to add anything?
Sure. Taking it a bit more from a macro perspective, I myself was a crypto blockchain Web3 skeptical 1 year ago, right? So I have been, as I said, in the precious metals industry, okay? But I think we all know the only constant is change, right?
Yes.
And, but also resistance to change is also another constant, right? So I think through that journey of mine where we go through a whole learning process, I mean, your question is about how we bridge it. I mean, it's about educating. I mean, you talk to your kids every day, you talk to your peers, you talk to your colleagues, and you need to understand resisting change will just lead to your destruction, right? We've seen people resisting the emails, people resisting to the internet. I mean, even when the first cars were coming out, people say, no, the horse will be the only main way of transportation. So I think it's just that we need to accept, okay, that change will be a constant, and have that willingness and see the opportunities and gaps where you can yourself develop and
Absolutely.
And through the cracks.
Absolutely. Rajib, Zara, would you like to add anything?
I'm not expert on this thing, but the main important part, what is actually that education, yeah? So people need to educate actually themselves, and we have to tell them in a very easy way that it's not a very tough thing, it's a very simple thing. And once they understand that, okay, how simple it is to use, then it's actually going to be happen. Otherwise, it will be really tough.
Absolutely.
All
was said, right.
So I leave myself for the next question.
Sure.
I mean, at one point, when it comes to the education, it's quite interesting. To be honest, in 2017, when I start to do my development, when I go to Google search for the blockchain, there's nothing. You wouldn't find anything actually written about the blockchain. But today, huge contents are there. So one of the most important point to be highlighted, and we have to be careful about the true knowledge and the fake knowledge as well. So
why I'm saying about the education, if you see actually in UAE population, 10 to 12% are already using the cryptocurrency, but just go in the deep. They are using actually they are putting some money to get some more investment. That's
Exactly.
it. They are
Yes,
not
the
using
main
the
idea.
crypto. So that education is actually lacks. So that's the people need to know.
So, I mean, it's just for the speculation aspect of it, right? Crypto today is not serving the purpose it's supposed to serve. It's more being of a speculative object. So that's why you have all these dips and throws and peaks on the values of those cryptocurrencies.
Yes.
It's not being used as a means of exchange.
Yes, so yes, if we go into the statistics, it's around 11.4% of the UAE residents who are thrown themselves into crypto. So it's 1 out of 10 person in UAE. It's not that huge numbers. So what do you think is stopping people from investing in crypto? So what is the lack of knowledge, as you said, they're scared, what else can be?
Yeah, basically the education, I believe. I think everyone is still misguided about what crypto is all about. They saw the hike in 2017 and suddenly a crash, and they was just quiet for a while. People who believed was still building, but people who just invested just for the sake of things going up and cashing out,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we invested and we lost. So yeah, so it was a little tough over there. But then it moved on, and what happened in 2021, we saw the hike in NFT. It just went boom, like really, really high. And this year, people are starting to realize, okay, now I need utilities in NFT. It's not all about the pricing and just an 8 picture or something, you know?
Yes.
So I think that the people are already moving a little bit, and as we say, education has been playing a role in that. So people are doing more education, and I believe that with more education, we will get there. But we are really in infancy stages. Where are we? Just 2022.
Yes, so
I mean,
true.
once we're pushing more regulations
Yeah.
and people get more comfortable around it
Yeah,
and
definitely.
understand the true purpose of it.
So they're not scared anymore
it
to
will be
invest.
It will be
Yeah.
more than 10% of the UAE population which is going to go on there.
Yes.
Honestly, there are a few things we need to highlight from the knowledge point of view. When we mention about popularity around the technology, the usage of the crypto, from the technology perspective, it's a necessary thing. So because when I build a blockchain, if I don't have intense incentives around the technology, there will be no security.
Yes.
So for that, we always push for the crowd to use the crypto for the solidity of the technology and the value of the crypto. So it's not for the point of investing and growing your wealth. So that's one of the correction we should have put it and let the people understand. Because a lot of time when I'm mixing with a lot of people when they invest, they said, when am I going to get rich? If I recap the person who started to buy Bitcoin in 2013 to even 2012 or 10, right? How many years down the road?
A lot.
So how many years they spent to become rich? But now today I want to put 2,000, tomorrow I become a millionaire. It's a bit difficult, like it's not cracking the head. Because like growing the value, it has like a mechanism. So the mechanism should go through stages. So this is the thing. I mean, we should let the people, that's where the knowledge need to go to the right.
So should we teach them how to trade properly?
So trading, that's where another thing, which is, for someone who want to grow his money, so they can go for those safe platforms, I would say. Now, too many exchanges around there. So I always tell them, please go for those exchanges, at least those exchanges legally registered in the country. When you go to use those exchanges, you are a bit safe. If anything happened to your money, there's an intermediary, they will save you, right? So these are the things. But if you go direct, like our gentleman mentioned, there are so many scammers around there.
Absolutely.
So many companies, they approach you, they will bring life easy for you. Today put 10,000, tomorrow you will get 10 million. That's totally true. I mean,
That doesn't work, unfortunately. We wish, but it's not. Yeah.
I think also the market forces are playing when you see the bearish state of what crypto is in, and even the NFTs, unfortunately. It serves the purpose of weeding off all those fake players inside the market. So people who have substance, who really believe in the initial concept, would remain. But those who are trying to get rich overnight is just spoiling the market.
And from the experience, also there's something quite interesting. It's not only the point to understand the blockchain itself. Honestly, when I started the blockchain development,
All right.
as I mentioned, October 2017, it takes for me 2 solid years, deep research to understand what all this blockchain is all about. So I have to do different way of research. I have to understand the financial system. If you don't understand about the finance and the meaning of money, it will be very tough and difficult for you to
Yes, it's
understand
not
about
enough
the
to be
technology.
just the developer in this point.
That's right.
Yes.
So we need to do that as well at the same time. So now when it comes to the point of like you are investing, you are trading, you are, this is all the financial like terms and principles. So this has been there for quite some time. I'm sure people know about the Forex when they go for the trading using those Forex platform. Even the Forex has a lot of scammers and a lot of true companies are out there. So is the similar thing happening, but in the different terminologies? So we have to be careful.
Yeah, if this crypto kind of rushed it a little bit. 2017, everybody just went crazy. That's what happened.
Yes, true. And like now, but everyone is crazy about NFT and Metaverse. It's like, as we were mentioning, since 2021, during the pandemic time, it's just boomed. And now even the proposed Metaverse strategy was introduced by Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, known as Crown Prince of Dubai. And it will support the generation of 40,000 jobs, which is kind of impressive numbers. And in general, Dubai Metaverse strategy aims to benefit the physical life, the virtual life, and the businesses as well. So how will businesses in Dubai adapt themselves in Metaverse, and what are the challenges that they're facing?
The challenges is still, sorry. Yeah, the challenges still possesses where people don't understand fully. And having an access to a VR glass is not everybody's forte at the moment. It started with games, and you see a lot of gamers having an Oculus at home. But how many of us actually do have that handy? How many of us would just plug it in and say, okay, come, let's just have a meeting on the Metaverse right now. And now, which Metaverse? Where do we go? Things are still at the infancy. So I think with the strategy that Dubai has announced, they are starting all these 40,000 jobs. It has started during the pandemic. So pandemic was where we could not travel. I was in a country I could not travel.
Correct.
I could not do anything. And my forte has always been traveling. So being stuck at home for almost 2 years was crazy. And not being able to, people love to meet you in person, people love to have that connection. So I think the Metaverse provides us a little better space than Zoom calls.
Yes.
I really hate Zoom calls. But yeah, so this is where I think Dubai is heading in the right direction. And they just have to make things more accessible, and like businesses to come onto the Metaverse. I think there should be a model where there's a little bit more in real life, combining with the Metaverse instead of just fully putting everybody on the Metaverse. Start with some NFTs maybe. Departments can have like tokens or entry tickets or something with NFT. Start slowly. Don't just pour everything on everybody at one time. They'll be overwhelmed. So that's what I think. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it has to be a gradual process. I mean, again, we were talking about resistance to change. That people have to learn about it, and the legislation has to be there. I mean, I'm talking a bit about my own experience being a gold trader. Today, a couple of weeks ago, we launched our first gold-backed NFT, which is the first in the Middle East region and UAE. So, I mean, we saw the opportunity there, right, to go into the NFT world despite it being bearish. So today, everyone's talking about NFT being backed by utilities when we're already there. So we kind of already jumped the gun a little bit to join that bandwagon.
All right.
Business adoption actually is on the metaverse. There is a government side, they need to actually take some initiative. Government is already taking, but they need to take some more initiative. All the public services what government actually offering, they can do it on the metaverse. So what happened, the normal people, they have no other option to go without except the metaverse. They are going to adopt it. And one misconcept actually we have, that all we are saying that okay, metaverse should be on the VR. It doesn't mean that okay, the metaverse, the new version what is coming up, it is not only for the VR. It can be on the web, it can be on the browser, even it can be on the mobile actually. So it can enter to the metaverse. Yeah. So it should be accessible in all possible way. Now lots of companies, software company who are actually developing the metaverse, they are only focusing for some specific part. But that's the way they can't reach to every people. How many people have the Oculus? How many people have the VR glasses? But think about how many gamers in the world. We talked actually in the morning. So in the Asian side, huge gamer actually there. We have to engage them. So we have to make the metaverse so that they can actually start using it. And another thing, another important part. Just think about the business here. Whenever the Facebook, social media was launched at the beginning, the crowd actually coming from the young people. They love to actually send a message, put a picture, give a like, comment, that's it. But when the Facebook actually really growing, when the business comes, when people knows that okay, from the Facebook I can get a business directly or indirectly, at that time it was happening. But in the metaverse, whatever you are seeing that, there is no direct business involved here. So it is actually now digital asset people are creating, they are selling, but what happened actually, who are actually selling some e-commerce in the normal, who are selling the grocery, how they can actually get the benefit from the metaverse? That's not actually possible now. So what we are actually working in our metaverse can connect with your existing system. Suppose if you have a Magento website or Shopify website, you can connect with there. Anybody actually purchasing from the metaverse, it will go to you. You have any ERP system, connect it there. So what happened? All the business community come there because they know that okay, from there they will get the business and then they will push it actually more forward. It is not only that okay, government can push it or only the Facebook or only few company can push it. It is not possible. Business community need to come and you need to involve them.
Yeah, but we can see that more projects are coming and introducing like hospital in Metaverse, university in Metaverse, even fitness studio in Metaverse. So what are the real use cases more that can be implemented by the government?
So even in this GITEX actually, if you go there, you can see actually several government are launching their campus actually Metaverse, and we are also working actually a few things. And this is actually marvelous thing. So you just go in the Metaverse, you feel that okay, how the government actually giving the service. Lots of use cases coming up actually.
So if I just comment about that, basically all these revolutionary changes happening in our social life, I would have said is a quite necessary things. Again, after the pandemic, we could see how many people gone jobless, how many company has bankruptcy, how many even government offices were shut down. One of the interesting thing I was monitoring, because all these while I used to be in United Arab Emirates, the government of the United Arab Emirates, they did a very systematic move during the pandemic, how to close down the country and how to bring back the country to the life. That's one of the very interesting things I monitored. They have a plan, they have a risk plan, they have everything in the place. Another thing, when I used to follow the government regarding the legislation of the usage of the cryptocurrency and lately about the NFT and the Metaverse, as well as using or developing blockchain and the cryptocurrency in the land. So they come out with a lot of interesting frameworks. Now there are a lot of like legal statements by the government, especially from the Abu Dhabi and as well as from Dubai. Whenever Sheikh Hamdan, he announced such a nice, interesting push of the Metaverse for the public and opportunity for the 40,000 jobs. Yeah. It's something quite systematic. And I believe, because if you dive deep, when they give the opportunity for everyone to get engaged with this space, why? Because so many businesses are opening. Now you mentioned a lot of metaverse projects. Yesterday I wrote a paper. This paper is a really new. I mean, no one has thought about it because I'm not in the gamification. Most of the people, when they mention about the metaverse, they go for the game, they go for those existing things. But I come out with something quite interesting about the intellectual property. Later we're going to announce it. So I put the paper in place. We are going to introduce it to the government, and the government will benefit from that one. So meaning to say that there are a lot of interesting things coming. That's one thing. The second thing, the challenge when we look at the developers, 40,000 people, it's really interesting chance for those youngest to move into this space, number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, they need to get the knowledge. Because now majority of the time when we look for the developers, blockchain developers, even metaverse developers, we cannot find people in United Arab Emirates. We have to go.
So where they can study?
Yeah. So this is actually, now I can say they already started. I can see some young people, because we have community. Even the development team becomes something artificial. We're working on the GitHub. So what we build in the community, someone start with the concept to build a blockchain, he will build his community around everywhere. Like one of my engineers, he did something quite interesting. He built up a blockchain by himself, and he bring a community around the world. He doesn't know them. So from 14 different countries. Now the blockchain is done, almost about 3 years he spent during all this pandemic time. So it was quite interesting, and 3 days ago we opened the mainnet, and it's live running. So who did push this guy? No one. No funds, no one, but he did something quite interesting. And these are the motive. So the motive will come. The challenge is there, the motive will come, but they have to start something. So now even the motive from the government is there. So the government will never stop them, but we need to grab the chance to move fast, understand about the technology, and especially when it comes to the development. But there is one interesting point. We need also to build programs while we are in the academic fields. We need to come out with the academic programs and feed it into these computer science faculties in every single university.
Absolutely.
Let our youngest to study blockchain. But nowadays, so many books, so many experts wrote books about the blockchain when it comes to the usage, when it comes to the technology, when it comes to the legality. A lot of contents are there. So this is also one of the good points
Absolutely. Education is the core points. Absolutely. And we also see that there are lots of projects which combines NFT and Metaverse. So what's the importance of these combinational projects for the society, for cultures, for businesses?
I think, I mean, Metaverse is the ecosystem, I would call it, and NFTs are the actors within that ecosystem. I mean, the sky's the limit, I mean, to what you can do, I mean, in terms of reaching out to people, socializing, and changing habits, becoming, I would say, more tolerant. I mean, increasing the know-how and the knowledge. I mean, that's how we need to see it. Okay, gaming is a huge part of
Yes.
as we speak right now. But I think there's a huge evolution through tokenization, I mean, inside the metaverse. I mean, I just had an experience. I was in Meta Week a couple of weeks ago.
Recently.
And there was one stand there, so one guy was asking me, you know, what I do. And I explained to him about the gold and the vaulting and everything, and said, okay, so he had created Paris, on the metaverse, and you can walk around town and go inside an office block and go into the vault. So basically, if with an NFT you could, place your gold there, I mean, tokenized, and still somehow visually have a feel, sensory feel, okay, even being remote.
Yes.
Okay, my goal is there. So I mean, that's, the beauty of it. Sky's the limit, but obviously it has to be used responsibly.
The NFT actually, without the NFT, Metaverse has no full meaning actually. So because NFT comes first and Metaverse comes after, and Metaverse actually using the NFT fully, you are, just think about it. Before the real estate we are talking, now we have to say that, okay, is it a virtual real estate or the physical real estate? A big change is already happened. So it's only happened because the NFT is there and Metaverse is there. Now think about the fashion. So few weeks back actually in the Decentraland, the fashion week was happening, yeah? If you see how many dresses actually they are selling, the different companies coming, new kind of fashion show. So it's a completely new things is coming in the society. Just only, even 2 months before actually it was not like that. Even 2 months before, it was different things. Now it's actually completely different. No, we have to do a fashion show. So now thinking, okay, are we going to the Metaverse or are we going to the physical one? Which one you are talking about? Then people are wearing this thing and they are actually using it for whenever they are going in the Metaverse. What is the dress they are wearing? What is the shoe they are wearing? And also there is another important thing, the interoperability. So whenever I am in one Metaverse, I am going to some other Metaverse. Without the NFT, that is not possible. So whenever I'm going from one Metaverse to other Metaverse, I can take any of my NFT actually with me. Because the digital wallet is the same wallet if we are using, we are actually shifting it. And people are working around it, so not everything is possible, but still there's a huge possibility only because these kind of standard things is there. But still, in my belief, Metaverse needs some standardization, because whenever we are using some kind of technology in the avatar creation and other creation, there is no standard following. So in Decentraland, the avatar is creating in one format. In Sandbox, we are creating in some different format. So we are not actually taking it actually from one place to other place. Although NFT is there, blockchain is there, everything is there, but still we are not able to do it. So some kind of a standardization board actually need to come there so that we can actually shift it everything. Just think about a image. You take a image in a phone.
Yes.
You can send to any places, any phone you can use it. You can mobile, every places, because everyone knows that, okay, what is the image actually, how it is formatting. But that is actually missing in the Metaverse world. So if any standardization board or any team actually are working on it, it will be actually huge actually. That's
So true.
Basically, to me, Metaverse is the virtual life of, the virtual life form of whatever we are practicing, whether it's a health, education, gamification, or anything else. So what's happening whenever we create the virtual reality and when we push all the avatar, let's say Farhang avatar, Elion avatar, everyone's avatar, participating in a space, whatever space is. When it comes to the NFT, it's the value. It's the value added within this virtual
Absolutely.
reality.
Yeah.
Because when the virtual reality is in the place, how we can create the value, how we can, let's say, introduce my product, my services, how I can gain, how I can let the people to benefit from that. Just an example, there was a gentleman, very young guy, he's an artist. He used to work in a couple company, but he could not fit in to position himself in the companies. So finally, he got to know about the blockchain and NFT. That's even before the pandemic. So what he did, he started to sell his arts as an NFT. He got into those like OpenSea platforms, whatever application started earlier, before 2019. He started about 2019. He pushed all his arts onto NFT, and he started to make money. So whenever I ask him anything, can you draw something for me? No, I have no time. He's doing everything. Yeah. So this is actually the chances. So the value comes from the NFT. And the market cap for the NFT is 18 billion plus, and the Metaverse is 13 million plus, because we know the NFT started, and that's where the value growth is quite huge in the NFT spaces, especially last 2 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you see, in anything that starts in the world, when there is incentives, people actually run towards it. So that's where NFT came into space, and that's where Metaverse is being popular. Why is Metaverse being popular? Because people are using NFTs, and NFTs has value. But
The
like
utility,
you
the
said,
value,
yeah.
yes.
So like you said, there's still limitation on avatar. So if I'm creating an avatar in a different model, I'm trying to go to another Metaverse, it may not work yet. So
And something is lacking, like smell is something that's, I believe, not replaced so far, but yeah, maybe in the future. It's a lot of things that we can keep on discussing. Unfortunately, we are a little bit running out of time, but we have the audience, and I would like to ask if anyone would like to ask any questions.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lene Peters, and I'm a tech writer as well as an NFT artist and a paralegal. So I have seen some really interesting crossovers happening. And there's a new one that I would love to hear your feedback on, because not many people have realized this, but the physical buildings in the metaverse belong to someone. They have a title deed, they have an owner. So apart from landmarks, you have private buildings being shown. Here's a new utility for architects who can mint an NFT on their building design. They can rent it out in the metaverse. And when that building is sold to a new property owner, the architect can get residual income on the smart contract basis. So do you think this will revolutionize the construction industry somewhat and add for more unique building designs? Because I have spoken to a few people about this, but they've never even considered connecting these dots before. So please, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yes, please.
I asked that question to myself 2 days ago. What will happen if I have a land, a building, and someone else is using that land and the building in the virtual reality and structure it, architect it, and then sell it? Imagine, it's like quite interesting point. What is happening in the reality? I mean, when the metaverse taken place, there will be reshifting the economy. So reshifting the economy is not such an easy job, like what happened in the earlier when the crypto and the blockchain started in 2017. 2017, consider where the marketing of the cryptocurrency and the blockchain started. That's where people start to understand about this technology. So there are few things, according to my research and understanding. Number one is a reshifting and acceptances by public, like whether people accept to go into the virtual reality, and who will be the owner. That's a very good question and very important. For that here, the legal should play a role, because when the legality taken place, if I'm selling someone else's building in the virtual reality and I earn money behind it, and that person is not aware, but suddenly someone tell him, some people become millionaire because of your things. He has right to claim that or not. So for that, we need to have some legislation in place, especially for the virtual reality. For that, this is one of the concerns from most of the security commissions around the world, how to regulate the virtual space when it comes to the practice of economic practices in simple form. So this will be quite important. So the legal should take a place before they do or step forward anything. That's one thing. The second thing, if let's say that will take a long time, to me it's still like a virtual reality, something for those people who are interested to practice their life and do businesses and do whatever they want in that space without any regulations, but doesn't have any impact in the real life. Because if I'm building and selling someone's land, but tomorrow I cannot come to the reality to claim that land. Okay, so unless if there's any legal framework in the place. So these are all things we need to think and how to expedite in it. So it's quite important. Even recently we heard about some Metaverse projects. They are the plot of lands around the world. Can people buy or sell it, right, through the Metaverse? This is a very important. So if the plot of land, it's a truly come from someone owns that land and been registered there, and it's connected to the blockchain, because the smart contract has a valuation, it value that land. So if it's by my permission, it has a valid point, that person can sell it. So he will sell it in the virtuality. So before we speak about the NFT, the nature of the crypto, it's a fungible token. So meaning to say that if, let's say, I'm sitting at home, I have the Picasso paint, which worth 26 million. But today I need some fraction of this paint to be sold out. So in the real crypto life, I can sell a part of this paint to someone in the network. He will pay me, and that paint will be owned by me and him within the network. So that's where it's not NFT. Okay, so the NFT is then fungible. Yes. I cannot fraction it, but it is like a fraction business using the cryptocurrency. So I can sell part of it, and the ownership goes to two people. So that's the principle behind the blockchain.
Correct. Thank you so much for your question. Do we have one more? All right.
Actually, we are in the same industry of on the technology. The same thing like what you mentioned, we've been a part of one Metaverse who they have a land, and they've been selling not a land, a continent, like Europe, Portugal, and UK. And I asked them the same question that, okay, today somebody can take over all the places, and somebody want to invest even in Portugal. And I asked that, what if somebody going to claim it? And if it's not in the list, as long as when we talk about blockchain, the mother of the industry, and these things gonna be a lot of confusions can happen, because I know many people are working on Dubai. Each part, let's say that, like a dots, connecting the dots. Many people are doing in a Dubai Mall project, name it in the islands. So how do you think this will be regulated? As long as it's not going to be listed, when we mention a blockchain, of course, then should be a unique number, should be there. Like why are we talking about NFT? NFT is a unique number, nobody can do it again. So the same way, I want to know what's your perspective about this Metaverse issues on the landing.
Yes,
Thank
Rajib.
Okay, we are actually, before developing our Met City, we are actually trying to build actually the Dubai. And we are trying to add some different character, Dubai, the unique building on there. Then we actually check all the actually legality and everything, and it is that because the Met City is still the Metaverse, but it's still actually owned by some company in actually the mainland, right? So the normal rule actually will be applied. I can't actually copy anything in there with the same design architecture. It should be different, because the design, how it actually looks, even if it is a physical or even if it is a metaverse, he actually owns that design. So in actually Dubai law, so I can't actually replicate this thing. We saw actually some company actually replicate the building and everything for the real estate purpose for selling, but if anybody actually claim to the court, and they can actually really do it. So we start the project and we stop that project for that part. But on here actually there should be some kind of electronic connection need to be established. Because whatever actually doing, whenever they are making any design, they have to take another licensing actually for the NFT license or something, so that if I actually trying to make those things, so automatically it will be actually blocked. But at this moment, because the NFT is new, everything is new, it is not there, but it needs to be implemented.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Basically, just to add a little bit on the future perspective, when it comes to mind, let's say a company is a metaverse company selling plots of lands or maybe countries, whatever they want. because the licenses should give some certain privileges, even if it is a virtual. That's number one. Number two, there should be alignments. For example, if, let's say, the company is selling plot of land and they got the license from the government, who will be the people selling their land there? Is it like a random? Anyone can go there, put his own land and sell it in the network? Or it should be with the permission. So that's also one thing. The second thing, let's say if I have a plot of land, should I have a two registration? One of the registration, which is in the physical registration, normal traditional registration. Another one, which is a virtual registration for the virtual reality. So meaning to say that I can have a smart contract from the government. I have that land registered in the, let's say, blockchain. So I have that unique ID. So later, I have right to sell it and claim and even go for the legalities. So this has all been structured, to be honest with you. So things are in the place, but the only thing, it's all the matter of the implementation, how the government wants it and how the public will accept it. So that's the thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your valuable answers and for joining us today. Where others are still waiting by the sidelines, definitely UAE has taken commendable steps towards establishing itself as the blockchain and crypto hub. And for sure, more developments are coming, and we will keep providing